around the world and across Nigeria. If you just joined us, this is Enterprise Morning right here on Enterprise Television. Now let's move to our main conversation for today. The presidential candidate of the Labour Party LP in last year's general election, Peter Obi, has declared his support Sunday for the nationwide protest scheduled for August 1.
True. And Obi, a former governor of Anambra State, said the Nigerian constitution provides room for protest as it is the right of citizens.
That's right. Except that he also warned against the violence, saying such demonstrations should be done within the confines of the law.
Very true. And Obi identified hunger and hopelessness among the youth as the sponsor of the protest, calling on Nigerian authorities to engage and give a listening ear to the protest.
A litany of demands stemming from social discontent are at the heart of the planned nationwide protest come Thursday, August 1.
True. And from hunger to inflation to wasteful spending and insecurity, among many others, it is the first time Nigerian youth were mobilized against general bad governance.
Well, yet another twist to the story. President Bola Tinubu's daughter, the Aloja of Lagos, says parents should hold back their children to prevent them getting killed. Now, to have a conversation and stay with us in the studio to do justice to this very important, of course, trending story by Stefan Sufeli and Ismail Ujuna. Thank you so very much for
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Yes. So let's kick off of this. Particularly, Barrister, I held you on a particular important point that you wanted to make on the Aloja, and right there we have it now. She is saying that parents should hold back their children, if they don't want them killed. How do you make of this?
That is a statement that signifies that Nigeria is at a precipice where the advent of the current president have led to the office of the president, the office of the first lady, the office of the first son, the office of the first daughter. The office of the first daughter I just spoke now, that was read. Okay? What business does that Folashade have with Nigerians and protests? Protest is the constitutional right of citizens. The father used to be a protester. Okay? He was in exile as a result of protests for so many years. Okay? Now the citizens are saying there is social discontent. People have no food to eat because he came in and then removed subsidy. Didn't know what to do. He lacked system, method, he didn't understand governance. And then you're asking people not to protest. There's no way they will not be protest. In fact, like I said yesterday somewhere, that if the government it's better for the government to allow the citizens to protest now. Because if they don't allow the citizens to protest now, they are going to postpone it. And when they finally come out to protest, to be bloody, it's no longer be a protest, it'll be a riot. You understand? Because all over the world, check human history, from your religious read to your history books to everything. Anywhere governance is failing, anywhere leadership is failing, there must be protests. It's given that there must be protests. Now, the president still have enough time. The demands have been put forth to them. They have enough time to start making or taking steps, okay, to put things together to address the issue on ground. But he's not doing that. He's asking people, he's telling people that have the right to protest, not to protest. You know what? It's your right to protest, but don't protest. Because some hoodlums are coming. The federal government have indicted themselves because they are the ones who introduce violence to protest all the time. Nobody, they think this is just, even if people did not come out to organize the protest, or people did not, protests would have, in one way or the other, come to the fore. Whether there is a Shawara, whether there is the other lawyer, whether they are there or not, protests will happen. The reason protest is going to happen is not because of P2B, it's not because of you, it's not because of I. It's because of a common danger. Survivor is threatened. When the survivor of man is threatened, he will protest, especially when he knows that there's a possibility for him to fix that problem but some persons have made it impossible for that problem to be fixed, there must be protests. So if the president like should cry to the high heavens, he should have meeting with all traditional rulers, with all. Do you know that the Lagos state government called the youth, the youth? They had a meeting with the youth. The youth didn't know what it was about. The students, they went for that meeting and they dissuaded a lot of them from joining the protest. They came out and issued statements. This student group, that student group, that student group, all that. They gave them money not to protest. How many people can you give money not to protest? Okay, that money you are sharing for people not to protest. Why don't you use it to start solving the problems of society? So there's no way they not be protest. It's not possible for not to have protests. Even if government even fulfill all the conditions today, which is impossible, there will be protests on the first. The protest will be for the suffering we have suffered already. Maybe if they solve the problem between now and first, there'll still be protest. I'm just trying to let them know that this one is not what you can stop. It's not, the protest is not being held by anybody. It's a general issue.
It's a generic issue.
Yeah, everybody is involved, everybody is affected. And the worst part of it is that in the midst of this, they are looting. Okay? The president is spending money on private jets, he's spending money on building the house of the vice president, and all that. So all those funds put together could have solved the problem, could have gone far to address some of the issues people are talking about. The citizens, what are they really asking for? What they are asking for is negligible. Social amenities, that's what they're asking for. All over the world, people have gone past that stage. They are asking for a proper school. They are asking for roads. They are asking for amenities. That's all. And then you're unable to provide that. You came and disrupted their lives. The subsidy is gone. You know nothing about what to do next. And now, to put them back to track, you're unable to do it. People must protest.
Thank you very much. Now, back to you, Shaka. And this Slayo. Now, in the year 2007, now coming from this angle, because the APP now does the defunct-led protest, and they went to court, and it was said that you don't require a permit to conduct a protest. Because the police, emergency, they're coming out today to say they need to come take permit from them, they need to know where they are meeting, where they are coming together, where they are actually going to be kicking off from. And one of the youth that is in charge of the protest, let me put it there, when he was being interviewed, he said they even wrote to the FCT minister, that's Yesu Wike, and is asking them to come pay a rent to use the Eagle Square to protest. At this point where they're demanding from the citizens to pay to hear their voice, is it not right for Nigerians to ask if the sitting president was duly elected?
Well, there's no question on the result of this, right? And this is also pointing to one thing. There is no thing, or there is no excuse that it will not bring. Look at the issue of that FCT now. Over time they are saying that, you need to make a request. Okay, you made a request, they are saying no, you have to pay. After you pay again, you say you have to give us, they will keep giving you conditions, conditional, and all of those things. It is in their modus operandi. The end goal is they don't want you to protest. And when Wiki was saying that, the question is, this yellow jar that we just talked about also used this same Eagle Square some days ago for a rally for the president. How much did the yellow jar pay for that? And we are also saying it that in the first place, we don't even need to get any approval from you. Whether you approve it or not, we will be there on the 1st of August. And there's nothing stopping us. I don't know if people also understand the fact that, right from 2017, when we started NSAS, because most people don't know, we actually started NSAS in 2017, when this guy, Kola Wali, was killed at Shoki by the SARS. That was when NSAS started, and that was when we had our first NSAS protest at Shoki in 2017. And after 2017, we had a series of advocacy up to 2020 when it became very, very big. And across all these, over all these years, something has been very, very paramount and very thing that the government has always used, it to clamp down on protests like of this nature, because they understand what it is. And just like the barrister said, this thing is very simple. We've been talking to them all the time. There is a minister that was engaging us on X some days ago. We've been telling them there is absolutely nothing you can do to stop this protest. The only thing that can solve this is that these demands, attend to it. Nobody will come out and protest. Just attend to the demand. That's the only option you have. Whether you bring out Oro festival on that day, and we're even telling them Oro doesn't come out only day, right? And if Oro comes out too, Oro is a festival. And we're also having our own festival with oppressed. So it is festival for festival, aura for aura. Let the Oro come to the barricade. They will meet us there. Right? So whether it's Oro, whether it's Yaloja threatening that they will kill us because she knows that that's what they are planning to kill us. And we are telling her that nobody killed our father when our father was protesting during the pro-democracy era. So whether they want to kill us, whether they want to bring Oro out, whether they want to threaten us, whether they want to imprison us, we are ready for all of that. We are not new to it.
Thank you.
All right,
Barrister
yes.
Philip, over to you. Now, listening to the government speak, even through some of the ministers, even the Minister of Interior, they are most times preoccupied with those who are the leaders of the protest, instead of aggressively dealing with the issues that are on the ground and that have been raised by the protesters. Do you foresee a reason why they are actually looking out for the leader instead of looking at the problem? Because at this point now, we're going to say the government are talking at the citizens, not talking to the citizens.
They are not interested in the problem, in solving the problem. They are not what they're interested in. They are looking for the leaders so that they can guide them over. What they did to the youths of Lagos State, students' union across Lagos State. Okay. It's exactly what they want to do to those leaders. They gave this to them.
We also got an invite.
Yes, you got invited.
We didn't go.
Yes. They are converged. And then I have one of the letters. Okay. And these students collected money. We gave them money, okay, so that they will not protest. And if there's any likelihood of protest, they should go and counter protest. Okay. What it says is that Lagos State is moving fine. They are not going to shoot.
There's no hardship in Lagos.
Center of excellence. You understand? And there's no hardship here. That's the same Lagos that when it rains for hours, the city is under, the city is subdued by flood. That's the same Lagos they're talking about. So you see, what they are doing is to target the leaders, because you know when people are hungry, it's very easy for you to throw funds at them and dissuade them from them. But what they don't get it is that they think this is about a situation that just happened yesterday. Okay, and then when you just call them and give them money and you clear everything, then they will be fine. No, this won't work. Because even if you give people money, how many of them are you going to give them? You understand? And for some of those who are actually really dissatisfied, you can't actually pay them through. Okay? We are talking about the future generation. We are talking about the youth of this country that constitute a huge chunk of the engine room for you. I mean, look at what our youth are doing in IT, even without government support, with music, with name it. You understand? Without government, the government is lost on what they should do. If previous administration said the youth are this, because as an old man, I have no vision. He didn't know what it takes to have a huge population of youths. Okay, this government, what program has this government put? They are saying should give them more time. After 1 year, they should give more time to do what exactly? With the more time. So this is a government that don't have, and the president hasn't failed to admit the fact. One of the leaders of the PDP said that the subsidy is one issue that the president was just to express ego. You understand? He was tactless, he didn't know what he was doing, and impossibly you threw people into that kind of and at the end of the day, you came back and told us to one of your ministers that you're not paying subsidy. So why did you take people through that route? Why would you create that kind of people must protest, that's the truth. And that protest is sacrosanct. We are not calling for violence. Okay? We're just telling the DSS, the police, the soldiers are issuing statements that what all they are doing is wrong. That the police even need this protest more than the citizens. Have you seen where they live?
Now, I'm talking about this, I'm coming from that angle because when we go down memory lane, if you go through history, listening to the soldiers that were sent to the toll gate there, they said they would actually adhere to instructions, especially during the election period. They told Nigerians to come out and use their rights, like vote, and they said left for them, they would adhere to the instruction that comes from above. At this point, looking at the security agents, that's the police, the army, and co coming out to back the government, don't you think they are under duress, or they are under that they're under the oath to actually submit to their leaders?
There's a chain of command.
Yes.
That's sacrosanct. That's what it is. But you know, you cannot be a chain of command to annihilate the entire society. The primary responsibility of the police by law is to protect lives and properties. You understand? So if you are getting any command that's asking you to destroy lives and properties, you don't replace the command. Because you have a role, and that role is to protect.
But their means of livelihood is on the line. Their
Which means of livelihood? Are they living? There's no means of livelihood anywhere. It's in their own interest to see that this country, the state of this country is rewritten. It's in their own interest. They don't know what to do with it. Their responsibility is to protect. So even when they get such command, they should ensure that whatever action they take is to protect and not to destroy. That's exactly what it is. The soldiers have no business in civil society. They are supposed to protect our territorial integrity. That's where they are not. It's not a business to go and be issuing statement in civil society there. Don't come out and protect. Come out and protect. Why will you do that? See, the Bill of Rights, which happens to be one of the earliest legislation on human rights, one of the first issues that made it to the Bill of Rights was protest. That's as far back. Before, I'm talking about around 15 something thereabout. You understand? So this is not the time for us to begin to fear because the police is saying we should not protest. So yeah, said no, the president is saying no protest. The president is telling you not to protest. Does he know what to do thereafter?
All right. Let's talk about Lagos State, Ismail. The last protest we had, the NSAS protest, Lagos was amongst the states that heaved the very big damage as a result of that. BLT buses, Millpoint police station, Millpoint, and so on and so forth. I have two questions for you. How do you think we would need this on the board from not allowing it to happen like it happened before? Number one. Then number two, the president has come up to say that he has carried out some series of policies like the student loan program and the 70,000 naira minimum wage, which is above 120% increase, and the palliative that has been given all around. That is a work in progress. It's still going to continue. So how do you think it's good enough to hold a brief for the president?
No, so I'll start with the headsas protest, because I was one of the organizers in 2020, and just like the barrister said earlier, the question of violence during protest is always coming from government. I was at the Alausa barricade at Ikeja here, and for every time they institute this propaganda of violence, they always call me at talks. Right? There are videos, evidence online everywhere.
So you mean it was the talk that pointed out the BRT?
I'm coming there. So when these talks came to Alausa, we chased them away. This is why there was no looting around Ikeja. There was a more vehicles. They didn't loot there. Because we were organized and we chased them away. When before the army invaded Lekki Toge, they came to Alausa, we chased the armies too. This was why the violence was not happening at Alausa there. So any violence that you saw during the aftermath of the answer, it was not from the protesters. It was from the talks, loyal to, because there was this guy that we even arrested. Like the people, we arrested this guy. He's a thug, Adabonsha, at the Ikeja barricade. And because by law, we cannot do anything to him. We handed him to the police. A day after, the police released him. A few weeks after, we saw this guy, this same guy, working with Obasa, the Speaker of the State House. So what are we saying? This evidence, the videos are online for everybody to see, right? So when we speak of protest and they speak of violence, that is their own protest. The government wants to, introduce violence to the protest. We are not violent people. We are protesters. And we always tell people there's nothing like peaceful protest inside our constitution. Protest is protest. We are going out there to protest, right? As guaranteed by the constitution. Anything that comes there in form of violence is from the government. And the DSS has been telling us that they are getting intel that some people are planning to hijack and all of those. And we are telling them, if you are this intelligent and as you are claiming, go after this, go and arrest them. Don't tell us. Any intel you are getting, I mean, the almighty DSS, there is a Yaya Bello on the run. You can't arrest this guy. But you are getting intel that some people want to hijack our protest. So if you get those intel, go and arrest them. Don't say we should not protest. That's not what we are doing. And all these are looting that we are talking about. They tell us that BRT was burnt, this one was burnt. And I ask, how many BRT buses is equivalent to the life of one Nigeria? So whenever we talk about it, we are talking about BRT get burnt. You are not talking about, there was a judicial panel that sat down. And this judicial panel came out with a report that indeed there was a massacre. You killed your people. I was at the panel. Throughout the panel, I was always there. The panel said that you killed people. So how many BRT buses is equivalent to the life lost? So you don't speak to this, even the recommendation of this panel, they don't speak to it. It's always the BRT, their own personal investment, their private investment. So all they care about is their own profit. They don't care about the people.
Okay, thank you.
All right, just your parting words, Barrister. Of course, I'd love to take you to the 5 points that were raised by the protesters in Abuja. That is, and amongst the one, the fourth there, they say they want a change in our constitution. They want a change in our constitution, and the fact remains that the president cannot change the constitution while he's upholding the constitution. So how do we?
The person who came up with that is I faulted that you can't ask the president to scrap the constitution. It's not possible. No one man can, by a wave of hand or pen, strike out the constitution. The constitution is supreme. Okay, and for us to understand, the constitution is not the problem. You read part of the constitution now. What does it say? That part you read. Asking that the state is responsible for state to provide shelter, housing for people. When you go to 18, you read 16, right? When you go to 18, it talks about provision of free education at all levels. That was the same constitution. So the demand that it should scrap the constitution is not. The 1999 constitution is not the problem of Nigerians. It's the lack of adherence to the provision is where the problem is. Okay, that enforcement of the provision is what the problem is. It's not an entirely bad document. Okay, you have a lot of people just say, it's not consult of who the poor of Nigeria, that's a lie. Therefore, you have not read the constitution. And let me tell you, even every section and chapter of the constitution have a back end story. Lawyers understand it. It's not about the provision, it's about the conversation behind the provision. Okay, so not everything is bad, but you cannot scrap the constitution into a court to defend. Okay, so that is not visible. What they should talk about is for us to have maybe another constitutional conference, or maybe the president should want to look at the provisions of the previous conferences we've had, where people have made far-reaching suggestion as to what our constitution should look like. Then the National Assembly will be involved. Okay, civil society will be involved. Okay, and we'll look at it and come up with an amendment or a brand new constitution, whatever it is. But I can tell you that you can amend, enact, produce constitution anytime you like. But the truth is that the behavior of the leaders will determine whether or not that constitution and make an impact in the lives of the citizens.
Very true. The behavior of the leaders with the time and the constitution would make, in a sense, in the lives of the Nigerians. And of course, I still wonder, why most of these leaders, most of them have, papers, they can travel at the time they want, they globe trot all around the globe. And my only one question is, why is it difficult for them to copy just 50% of what they enjoy with their families in other parts of the world and maybe paste them here? It's actually very so surprising.
It's surprising actually. Because I believe that's what is attracting them, that's what is making them go out. So if they should put it here, they will see reasons to go out.
So this is like their farmland. They make the money and they
I think one of the top leaders abroad actually said, or in the US said, Nigeria is like a graveyard. So those that will leave Nigeria will come back here to be buried. They go out there to enjoy and come back here to be buried.
Well, that's just about the time we have. Just like we did say, it's a development story, and as it unfolds, we'll promise to keep bringing it to you. I'd love to say thank you to Pastor Philip for being part of the show. Yes, Ismail, thank you so very much. We appreciate your time and making sense of all the stories that we have today. Joma, thank you.
Thank you, Henry.
For being part of the show.
Yeah, it's always interesting with you.
Yeah. So this is just about the time we have. But most importantly, we'd love to say thank you to you for always giving the date with us. We thank you and we truly do appreciate your time. But please do visit our website at enterprisetvnews.com and also follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV. I'm Henry.
And I'm Chuma.
On behalf of the entire team, thank you once more and bye-bye from us.
Enterprise TV